How's it going, everybody? So today we got some KV2 gameplay. We got our friend Charles with us as well on the team. And this was actually kind of a weird map. The KV2 is not the best in close-in urban environments. You have no machine guns, you have about a 40-second reload. The armor on it's not bad, especially if the enemy has to rush a bad shot, but like, the fact that you have 40 seconds where you literally can't do anything if you screw up one of your shots makes it a pretty unforgiving vehicle. So, this is not normally where I would recommend you play the tank. You also don't have any kind of machine gun, so even if you see somebody who has like a super exposed crew, you still can't really do much about it. As you can see, the KV2 is not exactly a speed demon either. Just kind of potters around. Let's see, is it? Ah, yes, this is where, like, we see one of our teammates get tanked out, but, like, ultimately, I ended up holding that angle for nothing, because, like, either the guy went around the other way or something else. And, of course, you can also see the turret is, not the fastest turning in the world. One of many problems with the KV2. However, you do have a 152 millimeter. What I'm using here is the APHE, or the anti-concrete shell, I believe it's called. So it will plow its way through a small portion of armor, and then detonate, obliterating anything in its path. Broadly speaking, this should one-shot basically everything that you'll meet at this BR. The only time it won't is if it doesn't quite go through enough armor for the shell to fuse correctly. In which case, the 152 millimeter shell itself will still generate a lot of spalling, and will still do damage just by being a solid object, but it's not the most efficient. And you can see that guy took a shot, wasn't particularly well aimed. Ours didn't have to be well aimed, because we killed all of his crew. Well, he basically destroyed all of his internal systems with that one round. Because that's what you do with the KV2. What did you break? His everything. It's like, ah, okay. And of course, we can see there's some activity going on, but 40-second reload, so we're going to sit here for a minute. Relatively secure position. Relatively. I mean, like, we don't have that many teammates around us. Normally, you kind of want teammates around you with the KV2 because it's something the enemy has to fight while you're reloading. In theory, anyway. Some teammates are more useful than others. But like, having things around you that the enemy kind of has to deal with is very useful when you are going to spend a lot of time reloading the shell. Now, I'm not entirely sure the KV2 needs such a ridiculous reload. It seems a little unnecessary, but eh. This is such a derpy tank. Like, you just wander around the battlefield at, like, incredibly slow speeds, just firing this absolutely massive cannon at people. And we see this guy. I'm not sure if he sees us. No, oh no, we go for this Panzer IV. And now we kind of, like, I see this Panzer. Yeah, that's the KV. Alright, so that's a friendly KV. That's what was going on. And he's being engaged by this Stug, and, like, I have no idea what's going on in this fight, but obviously I have a crazy reload, so there's not really much I can do about that. It is what it is, right? So, like, I just have to, like, watch that fight going on from the other side of this building using the third-person camera while I'm waiting for this ridiculous cannon to load another shell in. The Stug does eventually beat my teammate, but it turns out the Stug is really not happy getting 152 millimeter shells to the face, so all's well that ends well, right? So we're going to sit behind this building, and now we're going to reload for another 40 seconds. And we're up to 3 kills, we've secured Zone B. At this point, we're just generally being a menace. We have no teammates around us anywhere, so we can't really survive being spotted. Which is not the best, obviously. But, like, somehow it ends up working out for us because, like, the enemy team is thinned out pretty significantly at this point. Like, our team, while it's lost a lot of map presence, has inflicted a fair amount of damage on the enemy. So now that we have our shell back, we'll take a slightly more aggressive position. Because at the end of the day, like... Oh. And you notice we're using the hull traverse to, like, get these shells on target. Right? Like, we're not relying entirely on the slow-ass turret traverse. We're swinging the hull and the turret at the same time to get both of them on target faster. And of course, like, if you could, when you look at the damage model in the top right of the screen, you can see where literally every system inside the vehicle is going critical. Like, these shells are obliterating them. Because it's a 152mm anti-concrete shell. Like, it's for punching through several foot thick bunker walls. So, it's not the most efficient weapon in the world, but it is hilarious. And we have another shell in. Yay! And we're up to 4 kills. Didn't get the zone cap because our big fat ass is way too slow. But like, now we have a shell. So like, if you're already pre-aiming somebody with the KV2, especially at this BR where outside of the Americans nobody really has stabilizers, it's going to be very difficult for them to react. Like, usually their reaction is going to be, oh god, and they're going to back up, and like, it's probably not going to be enough. But as you can see, like, yet again, there's no teammates anywhere near us. Like, we're just kind of on our own in the middle of the map, desperately hoping that, like, our ridiculously long reload doesn't screw us. Like, we basically have to land every shot or we're going to die. But if we do land our shots, it will obliterate whatever we touch, so that's pretty solid. And here, I believe this is the point where, like, one of the enemies kind of slips past me, but I'm not really sure how. No! This is the point where there was, like, I keep hearing this engine noise, and I'm like, it's definitely not friendly. Like, I keep hearing it, and I'm like, this guy is, like, right next to me, isn't he? And it turns out that instinct was 100% correct. So I'm like, where the hell is that engine noise? Is this guy, like... I was like, is this guy, like, down this alleyway, or, like, what's going on with him? And then I see this right here, and I'm like, oh, hey, he's, like, right the hell here. And, of course, as you can see, like, the shell just kills his entire tank. It's like everything is broken. So... But yeah, it was just one of those, like, I heard the engine noise, and it was incredibly close, and it was in that direction, and I'm like... That's not a teammate. There's no teammates anywhere near this guy. Like, anywhere near that position. So, like, let's go check it out real quick. And, turns out, it's really productive. Because, like, again, this is another one of those problems when you don't really have any, like, board presence on your team. Because, like, without any board presence, the enemy can literally come from anywhere. So it's like, I'm watching this one angle, which is the most likely, but... Like, there's so many ways they can just slip past me that I'm just kind of hoping to get a little lucky. And so far we've been pretty fortunate. Like, most enemies just haven't noticed us. Or by the time they notice us, it's kind of too late. We've had a few enemies take shots, or a few enemies attempt to take shots. I think, like, 2 of them. But the rest of them we just obliterated. Like, they weren't even paying attention. And I think... coming up soon is where we get somebody like sneakily captures B. But fortunately our team, yeah, there it is. But fortunately our team has successfully liberated A. This poor little martyr. This little guy is not going to have a great day. That is not the one you want. Like, the tiny-ass tank destroyer getting hit by that giant shell. But fortunately our team is maintaining enough control over other parts of the map that by controlling B by itself, like, we are keeping this game pretty stable and keeping it from getting out of hand, even as our team is not doing the best in terms of, like, raw damage. So we're gonna go wander our dopey ass up to this zone and capture it. Like, this is such a dopey tank. Like, it just is. It's like the size of a house. And it moves about as fast as a house. Honestly, it reloads about as fast as a house would too, probably. Alright, so we get our point, so yay! And now we're gonna go back to that one little house that, like, we've been just sitting next to the entire game. Because, you know, it's our comfort spot. It also seems to be the spot that the enemy's just kind of ignoring the most. And we're up to 6 kills, we're up to his own cap. We haven't died yet. Just derping our way around. I love watching how slow this gun is. It's so ridiculous. Just like read a book while you're trying to turn a 360. It's so bad. I think they start capping B out from under us again at some point. Yeah, they start capping B out from under us again. And this is where I'm like, oh hey, well you're not the one capping B, but like, let's just give you a present real quick. Just obliterate the entire tank. And whoever's at B, I can't see him from this position. Like, it wouldn't matter if I could, because like 40-second reload, but spoiler, like, it doesn't really matter. You can see the number of tickets, they're about to run out. So we do end the game with this score. So it's 7 kills, 1 zone cap, no deaths. Pretty handy little game finish for the good old KV2. It is an amusing tank. It's not necessarily the most efficient, but it is fun just obliterating whatever you touch. Anyway, have a nice night, everybody.